Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the English news from Djibouti channel. Here are the headlines of our edition tonight. The President of the Republic, Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, met the Kingdom of Jordan Abdullah Athani. On continental news, women lives more than men. Welcome if you join us. The President of the Republic, Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, participated the 7th World Economic Forum on the Middle East and North Africa opened this morning in Jordan. This forum will welcome over 1,000 leaders from government, business, civil society, religious and academic circle from around the world. Building new platform for corporations will be the theme of this year. The event focused on 4 imperatives of transformation: the development of a new economic and social model for the region, the management of the environment in the Arab world, the surge of a common ground in a multi-conceptual world, and the 4th industrial revolutions in the Arab world. At the heart of the economic forum, the debate will focus this time on the issue of climate change, peace and reconciliations, youth employment, the 4th industrial revolutions and other topics around several panel discussion and strategic dialogue, granting special attention to the relationship between the public, private and civic sector, the impact of the 4th industrial revolutions on casualties and jobs, a new initiative to help resolve long-standing conflict among the public figures attending the meeting. In this addition to the President of the Republic, Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, was United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, as well as President of Nigeria Mahmoud Buhari, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, and Armenia President Armen Sarkisian, as well as Prime Minister Turkey the First Lady of the Turkish Erdogan, and Afghan Executive Director Abdullah, as well as Khalid Al-Falih in Industry and Mineral Resource, and many others international personalities, as well as the Khalid bin Ahmed Al Khalifa, Bahrain Foreign Minister. The head of state after that, Her Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, took part in a panelist discussions on ways and means to overcome the loophole of the Horn of Africa. Let's listen to his speech.
Thanking His Majesty Abdullah bin Al Hussein II, King of Jordan, for the warm welcome and generous hospitality. The Horn of Africa is indeed experiencing a landmark transformation in the relationship between countries in the region. You have the new momentum enshrined in the promising process of normalization of bilateral relations between Ethiopia and Eritrea. The Ethiopian people and Eritrean people didn't know what is peace during the last 20 years. On one hand, Eritrea and Somalia on the other hand, Eritrea and Djibouti also opens unequivocally a new era of stability and peaceful coexistence in the region. We are committed to see how we can create or take profit of this new situation to start what we have to do to develop our countries, to people create a new atmosphere of peace, integration, and work with the other part of the continent in developing our countries. We have invested a lot in Djibouti to create or build ports and logistics, train from Djibouti to Ethiopia. We have signed the Africa trade facilities and agreement. We are now going to create also a free trade area in our country. Ethiopia and the Prime Minister, the new Prime Minister, has made some sort of miracle. So he had the successfully invited or all the previous movements of liberation, opposition, and front in Eritrea and somewhere else. Or all of them are now in Djibouti. They have signed what you call peace and agreements. And the Djiboutian economy still has significant margins of progress. However, we are confident that the continued development of transport infrastructure in Djibouti and in other countries of the region, as well as the continued economic integration efforts in the region, will further deepen our market reach and growth potential. We are particularly encouraged that last week the Continental Freight Trade Agreement has reached the minimum number of required ratifications and can now move toward implementation. Djibouti relies on its excellent partnership with Ethiopia and expects this multi-dimensional economic partnership to be replicated with other countries in the region for deepening our markets, building resilience, and reducing risk. Today, the region is perceived as high risk, and this hinders the development of the private sector. We believe that our region can be seriously open the market or economy to other regions in the South Austral Africa, Western and Northern Africa also, because we have the COMESA market and we have also free trade and agreement as a continent. Are very optimistic, and the private sector also is invited to participate in this endeavor and this new climate of economic integration in our region.
On the sidelines of the Economic Forum that opened this morning, the President of the Republic, Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, met the King of the Jordan, His Highness Abdullah Thani. The discussion during this meeting focused on cordial personal relationship and regular exchange on many topics. The meeting was attended by the head of the diplomacy, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation, Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, the Minister of Finance, Mr. Ilyas Moussa Dawale, the permanent representative of the Republic of Djibouti to the United Nations in Geneva, Ambassador Khadra Ahmed Hassan, and the ambassador from the Republic of Djibouti to the Kingdom of Jordan, residing in the city of Kuwait, Mr. Mohammed Ali Mumin. The year of 2019 marked the 25th commemoration of the genocide perpetrated against Tutsi in Rwanda. It's an important event that Rwanda will commemorate together tomorrow with friend and partner. It's worth mentioning that April 7 of each year was designed by the Assembly of the African Union and the UN General Assembly as International Day of the commemoration of the genocide perpetrated against Tutsi in 1994 in Rwanda. The purpose of commemorating the genocide perpetrated against Tutsi in Rwanda, commonly known as Guibuka, in remembrance of compliments, is an important to pay tribute to the victim and to reflect one of the transformational path of Rwanda since a quarter of century. The commemoration is also an opportunity to remember the lost lives, to show solidarity with the survivors, and to constantly raise awareness among the African people and the international community of the value of life and humanity, and to unite all for ensure our collective commitment to protect and to defend basic human rights, and reaffirms African commitment to preventing and combating the crime of genocide on the continent and elsewhere. Under the theme of Remember Unity, this year's commemoration will focus on the legacy of strength, resilience, honor, and unity that the new generation is called to support, to advance, and to update to current challenge and aspiration. The Rwanda Embassy in Djibouti highly appreciate the support and solidarity received each year from the government of the Republic of Djibouti during the organization of a commemoration event. The support of the Minister of Foreign Affairs International Corporation and the presence of the Honorable Minister Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, the government authorities, and the people of Djibouti that these events are always very encouraging. This inspires that the embassy also relies on the support of the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Corporation to organize and mobilize public and private institutions, accredited diplomatic mission in Djibouti, as well as the Djiboutian people to participate in the event of 25, the commemorations of the genocide perpetrated against the Tutsi in Rwanda, that will take place in April 10 at the People's Palace. The reconnaissance of and investigations of the West Ajab camp of Wea in Artam region welcomed this morning April award ceremony of the benefit of 28 trains who have followed a specific armored training. Among the trains, there were those of the public guard. This colorful ceremony was presided by the General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, Chief of the General Staff of the Army Force, including the Brigadier General Tahir Ali Mohammed, Chief of the Defense Staff, Major General Hassan Ali Kamil, and Colonel Mohammed Jama' Duali, Commander of the Republic Guard. Also honored were the Prefect of the Arta, Mr. Abdullah Darar Okiya, the Chairman of Arta Region Council, Mr. Ilmi Bouh, and the Ukas of Wea. Upon arrival, the General was welcomed by Captain Ahmed Tahir and Commander of the Reconnaissance and Investigations of Wea Ajab camp. Then together the Chief of the General Staff of the Force Army proceeded to the review of the troop prepared to give the honor, composed of picked and the trains. General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim then greeted the delegation of senior officials before taking his place in the official gallery alongside the prefect and Arta Region Council. And this specific training of durations of 5 months and rewarded by a technical diploma. The first level was attended to assure to all the trains the acquisitions of the technical and tactical skills essential to the exercises of their future responsibility as armored crew commander. Then the Colonel Mohammed Are Abtidon, chairman of the EBC Review Committee, who claimed the results and the order of merit for this award. Here is the speech proud of demonstrated performance. The chief of the defense staff congratulated the ADPF athlete for the excellent result and hard work. The urge trains to preserve further to show his satisfaction. And after that, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim promoted to the top rank of the first 5 winners, the guest of honor, and the military delegation in the official stand. The ceremony began with the reading of some verses of the Holy Quran. Then Colonel Dahir Hassan Abadi, the commander of the Armored Regiment, took the floor to present to the audience a brief overview of the training provided by and the objectives achieved. After that, the group of Harbi performed a song. Let's listen it. As part of the National Week of Technical Education and Vocational Training, the Director General of Technical Education and Vocational Training organized in close collaboration with the Technical and Commercial High School of Djibouti a series of open days for the benefit of National College students. The event took place at the Technical and Commercial High School of Djibouti from Saturday to Sunday. It's undeniable that technical education and vocational training has always been at the center of concerns, both at the level of public authorities and the level of development partners. The MENFOB and the government in the general wants to make it a level of economic development in Djibouti and one of the main instruments to the fight against poverty. The Regional Swimming League of Djibouti organized this Friday the first regional swimming day of Djibouti to the pool of the artillery. Athletes from several categories, Junior, Cadet, Junior, from the various CDC of Djibouti participated in this day. The director also sensitized girls to participate in competition in different disciplines. The remains of the deceased Omar Saeed Billah arrived early this morning at the airport of Djibouti aboard Air France. Omar Saeed Billah died on April 3 in France. The body was greeted at the Djibouti International Airport. The ministers of Waqf, Mr. Momin Hassan Barre, senior administrative official, relatives and friends of deceased participated. Audiovisual engineer, he began his professional career in August 1986 in the radio television of Djibouti as head of radio center and then head of program department. In 2002 he was promoted to director of communication. In 2005 he was appointed general manager of the People's Palace, a function he held until his death. A humble man loved by all, he was devoted to his fellow citizens. Omar will remain for the men and women of the press a monument. May the Almighty welcome him into his eternal paradise. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un.
وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم بحق سبحان ربك. لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله. ما عندكم ينفد وما عند الله باق كل شيء هالك إلا ملك رب غفور رب غفور رحيم.
And now let's move on continental news. Life expectancy at birth in 79.5 for men and 85.4 for women in 2018 in metropolitan, according to INSC. Over the past 6 years, men and women have gained 4 years of average life expectancy. However, since the mid-1999,
access to healthcare translated into far shorter life for many. The UN Health Agency also stressed the significant gender difference in life expectancy worldwide. On average, a child born in 2016 can expect to live 72 years, up from 66.5 in 2000, according to the annual World Health Statistic Report. But despite progress in poorer countries, WHO say there remains significant life expectancy gaps between developed and developing nations. People in low-income countries live 18 fewer years on average than those in high-income nations. Statistics show it. While most people who die in rich rich countries are all nearly 1 in 3 dead. In poor countries are children under 5.
Here we arrive at the end of this new edition. Thank you to follow us and goodbye.